materials and crafts encompasses the unique characteristics and components that define the traditional artistic expression of indigenous communities. These elements are deeply connected to the culture, environment, and the history of each community. So here are some key elements. The first element is the natural materials, which indigenous crafts often utilize materials sourced from the local environment. These can include wood, bark, fibers, clay, stones, shells, feathers, and other resources found in the surrounding ecosystems. The use of natural materials reflects sustainability and harmonious relationship with the environment. The next is symbolism. Indigenous crafts are rich in symbolic representations. Symbols embedded in the materials or design convey cultural narratives, spiritual beliefs, and connections to the natural world. These symbols have deep meanings and are passed down through generations. The third one is the traditional techniques. Indigenous crafts are characterized by the use of traditional techniques that have been refined and perfect over time. These techniques may include weaving, carving, beading, pottery, and other methods specific to each community. The transmission of these skills is a vital part of cultural continuity. The fourth one is dye and pigments. Many indigenous crafts involve the use of natural dyes and pigments. These colors are often derived from plants, minerals, or other local sources. The color palette is not only aesthetically pleasing but may also hold cultural or spiritual significance. The fifth one is cultural motifs. Indigenous crafts are adorned with cultural motifs and patterns that are unique to each community. These motifs can represent elements such as animals, plants, celestial bodies, and geometric shapes. They contribute to the distinct visual language of each indigenous group.
The other elements is handcrafted techniques. Indigenous crafts are not just products. They are the embodiment of centuries-old traditions and skills passed down through generations. Each handmade item is a testament to the artisan expertise, dedication, and the cultural value placed on craftsmanship. The other elements is cultural context. The beauty of indigenous materials and craft lies not only in their aesthetic appeal, but also in their deep cultural significance. Each piece tells a story of the people, their belief, practices, and way of life. The eighth element is functionality. Indigenous crafts are a perfect blend of form and function. They are not only visually appealing, but also serve as practical purposes, from the warm, durable clothing of the Inuit people in the Arctic region to the sturdy, functional pottery of the Pueblo Indians in the southern western United States. These crafts are integral to their daily life.
Storytelling, preserving, and communicating cultural histories. The last element, spiritual significance. Materials and crafts may hold spiritual significance for indigenous communities. Certain materials might be considered sacred, and the crafting process may involve rituals or ceremonies that connect the artisan to spiritual realms. Understanding these elements provides us insights into the depth and cultural richness embedded in indigenous materials and crafts. Each element contributes to the unique identity and heritage of the indigenous communities that create them.